Greetings, everybody. This is your professor, Robert Kennedy. I want to give you a little bit of clarification and reminders of how to succeed in this course. So to begin with, we want to address a point of confusion that came up with the exam. The intent was that you weren't not supposed to use your notes. However, I can concede that why some students would have been confused given what was said on the exam and given what was on the original syllabus. I was in the midst of changing things based on how students actually did, and this is quite interesting. Students last semester, this is why I made the decision that students shouldn't use their notes. Students that did not use their notes in one course actually did far more better than students who relied on their notes. And the reason should be quite obvious. Students who are told that they cannot use their notes will prepare more than students who will rely on their notes. But given that there was confusion, here is what I will do for this semester. I will allow all students to use their notes for the exams. So let me repeat that. You can use your notes for the exams. Now, for those that did the right thing and did not use their notes, what I will do in this case is I will drop for everyone the last, the lowest scoring exam for the semester. So whatever your lowest scoring is, I will drop that from the final grade. So for those that did rely on your notes, you won't get penalized for doing the right thing. But going forward, you can use your notes. Now, with that said, let me explain how to succeed on these exams. And a lot of this will be reminders. The one thing you want to do on a consistent basis is to employ a process for preparation. Now, as Yvette Garcia suggested, which I thought was a great suggestion, is to take starting today, a half learning objective at a time. If you do that every day, you'll be fine. I would go a little bit farther, and there's a very specific reason for that. I would aim for at least one learning objective a day for this unit to prepare for. The reason is, well, let me get to the process first, and then I will explain why it will pay to do a little bit more than a little bit less consistently for this unit. One, the process should be reviewing the material for each learning objective prompt when you're developing your essay responses. And when you're doing that, you're first you're taking notes. Take notes, and then go through the video, go through the notes for the video, and write your notes down, or whatever, names, dates specifically. A lot of students will submit things without dates. Now, dates aren't central to knowing history, but they are an important part of history. So be sure your work does include dates in it. When you're done with that, okay, I'm not sure exactly where I was at. Somebody came knocking on my door, so I had to talk to them. But the process, again, take notes, practice writing the essays, and then do use those index cards. It sounds like it'd be more work than it's worth, but it will develop. What I'm after is familiarity with the content, not memorization. I saw a lot of your comments on CELI about just expressing your anxiety, which is great. I'm glad you guys are using CELI that way, about how you have to memorize everything. You don't have to memorize everything. What I am expecting you to do is become familiar with the content and the content within each learning objective. Within the process of becoming familiar, you might surprise yourself and find that you remember. Now, again, the exams are open note, but they are timed, so you do want to develop a strong degree of familiarity with each response for the learning objectives to develop your response for the essay prompts. So the index cards are quite helpful. Again, write the learning objective prompt on one side and write some salient points on the others. You don't want to overburden it. It's just there to kind of trigger your mind. If you're going blank, that's when you go back to your notes to kind of fill in the blanks within your own mind. And this is where you want to maybe practice writing the essays a couple of times in order to do it. The other thing you want to keep in mind about the exams is that it is not a zero-sum game. It is not a zero-sum game. So what do I mean by that? It's not all or nothing. So just the word exam, I think, engenders that in people's minds. It's like, if I don't pass this, then I'm out. No, you keep in mind the other parts of the course are there to help you succeed in the course as well. Particularly, let's go with lecture quizzes. Lecture quizzes is an opportunity for you to really shine in this course. Given that you're given an hour to complete 2 learning objectives, not an entire essay, this is where you can go into real detail about the response for the learning objective. And in a couple of tips here, you want to try to put things in your own words and quote. You would want to quote the lecture notes or quote things that you learned from the videos, but then explain it in your own words, what that quote means. And anything you use, you want to make sure it ties to the learning objective prompt. Okay? So just keep that in mind with these things. But collectively, the lecture quizzes are 20% of your grade. So if you're struggling with the exams, this is an opportunity to kind of make up with that struggle. Right? So if you're not earning a B or an A on the exams and you're earning A's and B's on the lecture quizzes, that's really going to keep you afloat. The other thing are discussions. Now, the thing about the discussions that will really help you is, one, as always, details and examples. But you do want to make sure that you are citing properly. Very few students are doing that. You want to cite your work. This is practice. This is an opportunity for practice because it is absolute requirement to cite your work for the final essay. So let me bring up the final essay real quick, because the final essay has places where you can learn how to cite properly for a history class. So we use Chicago to Arabia in history. Now, don't overthink this. A lot of students overthink this and they approach it almost as a math equation. Just follow the examples. Now, most of what you're going to cite are websites, right? The content is housed in a website that I've created. So you find examples of how to do that. Now go through this information, some of this information, to get familiar with the process. There's plenty of YouTube videos that explain the process of citation. So take some time to do that. But you can simply Google Chicago to Arabian, how to cite a website, or how to cite a documentary, or whatever it is you're citing. So get in the practice of doing that, and you will see that your discussion scores will go up if you're doing that. Also, you do want to respond to a student. Okay, so please do that as well. And the last thing is the final exam. So as highly encouraged in the orientation, you want to work as you go with this. This is not something you want to put off to the last minute. So let's look at the final exam. And the prompt is, what does it mean to be an American? That's the prompt. So what I mean by work as you go is, this is where index cards come in handy. If you're ignoring me with the index cards when it comes to preparing for the lectures, don't ignore me when it comes to this particular assignment. It will be incredibly helpful. Anytime you have to write a final essay or some sort of research project, I can't emphasize enough how instrumentally helpful using index cards actually is for writing papers. So that's the prompt. So what I'm suggesting you do is, anytime you come in any information about this prompt, and this is a really open-ended prompt, you really want to give this some thought of how you want to address this with each unit. And again, you do have to address each unit when you prepare for this paper. So you want to address the content and the theme for Unit 1, which is dealing with civil rights and gender issues. For Unit 2, it's dealing with class and labor issues and capital. And for Unit 3, it's dealing with U.S. foreign policy. Right? So you want to address all of those. And anytime you come across any information on one side, whether it's a quote, whether it's an individual, whether it is some sort of law, whether it is a battle or a war or whatever it is, write it on one side. On the other side, write where you got it from. So you don't have to go back pulling your hair to try to remember where you got the information from. And at the end of towards the end of the semester, when it comes time to write your paper, you lay all these flashcards out. There'll be some of these flashcards that aren't going to be helpful, but there will be some that will be helpful in responding to this essay prompt. What does it mean to be an American? And with them laid out in this way on a table or a desk and some fashion, you can begin to organize your essay. So you will be able to place some of the flashcards in the introduction section, others in the body, so first, second, third, fourth, fifth paragraph, right, so on and so forth, and others into the conclusion. And then you use your examples that you have on your desk and plug it into an essay narrative, right? Please don't plagiarize. If you plagiarize, you will receive an F for the semester. It's very easy to detect plagiarism, so just don't even do it. Please don't. Please utilize this particular resource, online tutoring. So you want to work earlier rather than later. I'm going to get to this red part in just a second, but make sure you do understand this right here. Right? Do not use any sources outside of this class and from the links listed below. So as it says here, your essay should refer to at least 2 lectures from each unit and at least 1 sublink for each unit. Right? And what I mean by sublink, these are the sublinks down here. So for unit 1, you have all of these links. For unit 2, you have all of these links. And for unit 3, you have all of these. So yeah, just get familiar with these sites. You don't have to read all of this information, but go through it and see if any of it helps you respond to the essay prompt and what it means to be an American. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's the incentive right here. Anyone earning an 85% or higher on the final exam will replace that score with all previous scores for all assignments for the semester. Let me really read that. Take that in. Right? This should give you plenty of incentive to work as you go. Now, let me caution against something. Some students will read this and go, "Oh wow, I don't have to do anything this semester. I'll just concentrate all my efforts on the final essay." The content of the material is there to help you prepare for this final essay. So that's why I offer this incentive. So again, work as you go and plan accordingly. That's a high bar, 85% or higher. It's actually quite easy to do if you, as you're preparing for the exams and the discussions, when you come across material that helps you explain what it means to be an American, you write that down on an index card. If you do that, this will help with organization. It will provide you with plenty of examples to demonstrate your argument, your thesis for your essay. And the paper will essentially write itself, and it will be not easy to earn an 85% or higher, but it definitely will be manageable. Utilize online tutoring, and you will be fine. Okay, moving. So yeah, just do that. The other thing I want to jump back to before I leave you guys is the importance of sleep. And this is why you want to definitely utilize Yvette Garcias's advice, kind of scheduling out this unit. I would suggest doing at least 1 learning objective, if not more, a day. And this is where it becomes important. It becomes important because you when you sleep, when you dream, that's not just strange stories happening in your head in the middle of the night. It is your mind organizing the memories of the day in areas and creating new connections within your mind. So when you need to access those memories again, it becomes easier to access them. You become, in a sense, more familiar with the events of the day, which includes the material that you're addressing. So when you put off preparing for this material, you don't utilize the basic functions of your mind. So please utilize that aspect of it. So again, I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you do have any questions or concerns, and I will definitely address that within CELI. You guys are doing great. Just keep on keeping on, and you will be fine. Got this right under 15 minutes, so hopefully this wasn't too much out of your day, but I really want to address some of the current concerns. Talk to you later. Bye.